Happy Wednesday, friends. This is Kisthart. I get to serve here at Calvary with the Partner Network. And it's no secret that we live in a world where questions seem to be all around us about life and faith and even our understanding of God. And at one point or another, we may all find ourselves wondering, what is my purpose? Why do bad things happen? What does God want from me? Well, I'm here to let you in on a little secret. These kinds of questions are not just normal, they are vital for spiritual growth. It reminds me of scripture from James, which says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." What a powerful verse. It tells us that God not only allows our questions, but actually encourages us to come to Him when we are searching for wisdom. And notice that it says God gives generously without finding fault. God doesn't look down on us for seeking understanding. He knows that asking questions is a part of our journey of faith. Think about the disciples. They walked with Jesus, witnessed His miracles, and yet they had plenty of questions. And Jesus didn't scold them for their doubts or for their moments of confusion, and instead, He used those questions as teaching moments, helping them to grow. Now, I'm aware that when we think about asking questions about our faith, it's easy to maybe feel shame or embarrassment. Maybe, like me at one point, you were led to believe that having doubts or seeking more information means that your faith is lacking. But that's just not what the Bible teaches. When we look at Scripture, we see that many of the heroes of faith asked hard questions. Moses asked God, "Who am I to lead the people of Israel?" David, a man after God's own heart, asked, "How long, Lord? Will you even forget me forever?" Even Jesus asked questions, famously crying out on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Friends, questions are not the enemy of faith. And for me, they've actually led to deeper understanding and growth. I think that when we bring our questions before God, we get an opportunity to express a desire to know Him, to align our lives with His wisdom. Well, part of my faith journey includes being recognized for my gifts here at Calvary. And it's such a humbling experience to be on staff at a church that intentionally makes room for people to bring their questions openly. There isn't an expectation to have all the answers or to live with blind certainty. Instead, there is value placed in creating a space where questions aren't just allowed, but welcomed. It's a place where it's okay to say, "I'm not sure what I believe about that," or "I'm still figuring things out." Calvary Church, as a community, doesn't push people towards quick, easy answers, but instead invites them into deeper conversation. Calvary works hard to lead all people to a lifelong faith in Jesus Christ. And that means being a place where you can come as you are, with all of your questions, and still feel like you belong. God's grace is reflected here. It's easy to think that asking questions might weaken your faith, but often the opposite is true. When we wrestle with our beliefs and seek out truth, we move beyond shallow answers and develop a more authentic, deeply rooted faith. It's not just about accepting what we're told, but about engaging with God on a more personal level. Calvary truly saw me when I first walked through the doors. They understood that I had questions, and I wasn't doubted or made to feel ashamed. I was recognized for my struggle with what to believe. Here I was walked beside and supported, and it made all the difference in my life. I truly believe that when people feel free to ask their hardest questions, they are more likely to experience the transformation that comes from a real relationship with God. And we know that there are so many in our world today who feel disconnected from the church because they think they have to have it all together before they'll feel like they belong. But that's just not what Jesus taught. Faith is a journey, not a destination. If space in a church is created for people to explore, question, and grow in their understanding of God and themselves, something amazing can happen. Just like God gives wisdom generously when we ask, there can be compassion and understanding offered generously to those who are searching. If you're someone who has questions, don't be afraid to bring them before God. And don't be afraid to walk through the doors here at Calvary. There was room for me and all of my questions. And I promise there's room here for you too.